Mike Rickards, and I'm back again with Dunstan McNichol. Dusty, just to continue more about trying to understand where the pension system's been and where it's going, and we have plenty of time to do both. I'm sort of curious as to what happened when the bubble burst in the technology area especially.
Within the pension system, it was disastrous. They lost on the order of $14 billion over a couple of years in their investments. Within the state legislature, they took a more sheltered view of what was going on and assumed that things would rebound. Politically, it was an interesting time in the state because Governor Whitman had taken a job as Environmental Protection Commissioner with the Bush administration, which was in its infancy then, and Donald DeFrancesco, who had been Senate president under a Republican majority, became acting governor for 1 year. As the year was winding down, Donald DeFrancesco's political prospects had dimmed considerably, and he was no longer running for a full term in office, and the members of the legislature were bent on keeping a Republican majority, or the Democrats were bent on getting a majority in the legislature. As a result, the unions, who are prolific campaign contributors and phone bank operators and big supporters of their candidates of choosing, had a lot of leverage that fall. They used that leverage. They successfully prevailed on the legislature to pass these changes in the calculation of the pension and the increase in the benefits, despite what was happening in the markets. And it ended up digging the first of the holes the pension fund has found itself in. That was followed by a recovery on the stock market, and everyone's exciting books about the Dow 36,000 and fun times like that. Stock market was doing really well. Returns on the pension fund started doing well. They gradually started to drag the fund away from the accounting gimmick that had been used to pay for the benefit increase. They arrived at last year, the budget year that ended in July of 2006, I'm sorry. The pension fund finished with an investment return of 17%. Things looked like they were going great. There was money coming back in. The Governor Corzine at this point had started making contributions into the fund again for the first time. Municipal governments were increasing their level of contribution by 20% every year, so there was more coming in from that side. Employees actually started increasing another 0.5% of what they were paying into. So it looked like things might get settled down. And then obviously we arrive at this year. Pension funds peaked as the actuaries calculate how funded they are. They reached a high water mark of about 76%. Still isn't great. It's below the 80% that people are looking for, but it was looking like it was about to turn the corner and head in the right direction.
Now the employees pay 5.5%.
It depends on the police and fire, I believe, pay 8%, and teachers and government employees pay, I think you're right, 5.5.
Is that retroactive, or is that only for new people coming in?
Oh no, it changed for everybody when they changed it. So
why did the firefighters pay so much more?
They get a lot better benefits. They can retire earlier, and they get higher benefits.
Now we're in a situation here where you see large numbers of people representing the unions being extremely concerned about the situation, the pension fund. But yet their pensions, aren't they really entitlements rather than 401s? Why are they worried?
Oh, they're worried because at some point the debt becomes unmanageable. And at some point, no governor and no legislator and even no Supreme Court can tell a taxed public that you need to come up with the amount of money that conceivably could be asked if they keep putting off getting the fund in order. I mean, there's always the process. They don't have to pay $118 billion in benefits today. They have to pay that over the next 40 years or so, however long every beneficiary is living. But it's a debt that actually exists, and they need to start addressing that debt. And the longer they forestall doing that, the bigger the debt becomes. And just as the way they manage the debt, or mismanage is the term maybe, is each year the actuaries tell them two pieces of what they owe to the pension fund. They tell them you owe a normal contribution for all the benefits that everybody who worked in the preceding year gained, and you need to cover that cost this year so that the money's in hand. And then on top of that, they have a cost to pay down the unfunded liability. The unfunded liability 2 years ago was $28 billion.
Right.
It's up it's way more than that now. And instead of paying it down at all, what the state has done every year for the last 7 or 8 at least is say, well, we're not going to pay down the unfunded liability. We're going to reset our 30-year payoff, and we'll get started on that next year.
Good. We are here with Dusty McNichol of the Star Ledger, who's probably one of the authorities on this pension question that all of us have been looking at. The Hall Institute of Public Policy has been looking at it for quite a while, in fact, for a couple of years, and we're in the process of putting together a major report. We're having a special TV session as well as a radio one to try to look at some of these issues. And we will then go in now to a second hour, which we hope that you'll get the opportunity to also watch with us, talking about the future of the pension system and what we should be concerned about. I'm Michael Rickards, representing the Hall Institute of Public Policy, saying thank you for having watched this session.
Thank you.